Welcome to the Lug Life Podcast. My name is Adam.
My name is Sherry.
Sherry Beth, what episode is this?
121. Or
Eye to Eye.
Eye to Eye.
Okay, now let's explain real quick. We've been starting our podcast by giving you a fun fact about whatever number the episode is.
Yeah.
So, number 119, 120. I'm going to be really honest. Number 121, kind of a boring number.
Yeah,
we
I mean,
looked
it's a prime number.
Who cares? Nobody cares about prime numbers. Like, literally nobody. The only prime I care about is Optimus Prime. If it's an Optimus Prime number, I'm very interested. However, we are stretching it a little bit on this one.
Yeah.
When you look at the number 121, it looks like the letter I, and then the number 2 and the letter I.
Correct.
Which makes us think of this. How many of you
Heck yeah.
know this song from a Goofy movie
Powerline.
by Tevin Campbell?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, how much do I love this movie? It's a lot.
Goofy movie to me is one of the most underrated Disney movies of all time.
I would agree with that.
And I think we feel that way because we were kind of in our prime adolescent years when it was popular.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are younger than us or older than us who just don't understand that movie.
Correct. I think that we actually sat Auburn down. We're like, you have to watch this movie. And she was like, I don't get it.
I think that might be why she hasn't come back. We made her watch a Goofy movie, and she's like, "Okay,
sorry, Auburn.
They've officially lost their mind. I'm going home to Florida."
Oh no!
I think that's what did it. I think making her watch a Goofy movie.
Oh man.
Okay, so some weeks on the Lug Life Podcast, we talk about deep topics. We get really serious.
Yep.
We share our hearts. We just really try to be authentic and honest.
Bare our souls.
Bare our souls.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those weeks.
No, it's not.
This may be the most random topic that we have talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This has been on our list of potential topics for well over a year.
A while, yeah.
Probably since near the beginning of this.
I think so.
Today, we are talking about our zombie apocalypse prep.
As you do.
As you naturally do.
Obviously. Everybody should have a plan.
I was actually just going to say, this is one of those things, and I want to know from all of you, because obviously this is kind of a joke, but how many of you have actually had this discussion like, hey, just, like if things go down, if the zombies become real, here's what we're doing.
We have had multiple discussions.
Yeah, honestly,
about this.
I think we've had too many. It's concerning.
We've had more discussions about zombie apocalypse.
Or apocalypse.
Wow, apocalypse prep than like actual like earthquake. I can't talk today. Earthquake prep.
It's the glass of whiskey Sherry
It
has
might
in
be.
front of her
I'm
right
sorry. Or I just can't. It's Friday.
And your brain is done.
And my brain says no more, ma'am.
So,
But anyway, we have had more discussions about this than actual like real life situation prep.
yeah, I'm sure that'll pay off for us in the long run. I'm sure we won't regret that decision one day when we have a big earthquake.
Well.
Okay, so here's kind of where this started. And
Yep.
I'm going to, if one of you out there if you're an author, if you love dystopian stuff, I'm going to give you a book idea because
notes.
this is where our discussion of this started.
Yeah.
Many of you have seen on different vlogs we've done when we've gone to the town of Whittier, Alaska. Now, to get to Whittier, you have to drive through, it's like a 2-mile tunnel through a mountain that they have carved out of the mountain. Mm-hmm. And in the mountain, there are different safe houses. In the event that maybe a rock slide closes one of the ends of the mountain or of the tunnel, or if just something happens.
Right.
And this is so ridiculous. And every time, not every time, but most of the times we go through that tunnel, we talk about how this would be a great book series or a great zombie apocalypse prep idea.
Right.
To go into the tunnel and to do what?
Below the ends.
Below the ends, cause a rock slide so that you are
On both ends.
enclosed into the mountain. But
Because there's multiple safe houses.
Yep.
And it's funny because this is slightly off topic, but we have pretty much written an entire book based off of living in these safe houses.
Oh, 100%.
Just like on drives, like we just add chapters. Like out loud, we're not writing anything down, but we probably
no.
should. But yeah, so we would blow both ends and basically live off of what's available in the safe houses. Now we would bring our own supplies as much as we could.
But there are also supplies in there.
But they're already well stocked in the event that something happens and people can't get out of the tunnel.
Yeah, so the idea is that you'd enclose yourself basically in the mountain.
Yep.
And then once a long enough amount of time has passed where you felt like it was okay to begin the process of interacting with the outside world, you would start to dig your way out.
Right.
So that's where this all started. And then it was like, okay, well, yeah, but what would we actually do? First of all, I want to preface this by saying we don't really believe there's going to be a zombie apocalypse. Okay? Like, don't take this too serious.
Well,
We're joking, but it's a blast to talk about.
yeah, and you are a huge fan of The Walking Dead.
The TV show?
The TV show.
Not only The Walking Dead, any post-apocalyptic walker type thing I'm in for.
Yeah.
100%.
I am not.
Okay, so actually, before we get into our legit plan,
But this is a well thought out plan.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Sherry. We would survive literally for minutes.
Many minutes.
You have a real fear about the topic we're talking about today.
I do, and I realize that it is completely irrational, but I have a serious fear of zombies, and I don't know why. And we will get into it a little bit more in next week's podcast.
Yeah, so next week's podcast, we're actually going to talk about phobias.
Yeah.
We have some real ones that are legit. That's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm scared of that too. And then we have some where you're like
Zombies.
Are you okay?
And you know what's, and you know, like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I don't understand my brain's psyche, but like I can watch and read about vampires and werewolves and fae that are cruel to humans and like I mean magic and all kinds of stuff. It doesn't faze me.
But zombies.
Eat it all up. I cannot.
Eat it all up. Get it? Because brains eat zombies.
Ugh.
Oh wait, no, zombies eat brains. Spoiler alert: brains also eat zombies.
Oh wow. No, but I cannot, like, I've never read like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies because while I have read Pride and Prejudice like 50 times, I cannot read about them as zombies.
Yeah, zombies.
I can't do it.
Zombies scare you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about naturally. We're gonna set the stage. Are you ready, Sherry?
Okay.
Here's how I picture this happening.
Mm-hmm.
There is some sort of a it would come from a medical lab, I believe, is how it would start.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a nefarious doctor or nefarious med student who was working in the lab, who smuggles something in the lab into the outside world. It begins to take hold and spread, creating zombies.
Which I feel like would not actually start in Alaska, so I feel like we would have a little bit of a head start.
100% fair, and I agree with you. So purpose of the story, Alaska's not on wave one, but as it starts to spread, we're getting the news. We're seeing what's happened. We're seeing the TVs, and it's like everybody knows that it is only a matter of time before it is here.
Yeah.
And so we take action.
Yep.
Sherry, tell me, first of all, what would your approach be to a zombie apocalypse? Would you, because there's some people who'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna get my ammunition and I'm gonna get my guns and I'm gonna like fortify myself and we're gonna blow up the zombies.
Right.
I don't know why I do that in a southern accent.
I'm not sure why
essentially-
either.
Yeah.
So my first thought would be barricade myself in our house. Block, like, you know, completely block every door, every window.
You take the hunker down approach.
I would take the hunker down approach. However, I think that my second thought would be get out of Anchorage, get out of the city.
Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Because my approach also, I am not a let's fight the zombies. That sounds stupid.
That sounds just like a really good way to get your brains eaten.
That's the thing is like I've seen enough zombie movies and I've read enough zombie books.
It's always the ones that are like, I can fight them, that are like the first to be taken out.
Yeah, and then
I'm thinking I don't want to be part of that.
well,
So
here's the reality. Neither you nor I tend to be very aggressive people,
correct.
right? And so also
I'm much more of the avoidance
Without question. It's like, hey, what if we just like avoided the zombies?
Right,
rather
let's
than
just
fought
stay
the
as far
zombies?
away from them as possible.
Well, it's funny because that's so my approach. Because I don't play video games. Like it's not my jam. But every now and then I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna play a first person shooter game. And whenever I play these games, there's people that are like running around. They're like, oh, I got this truck and I'm running over people and I'm shooting people. I'm like, bro, that's dumb. I'm hiding in a shed.
And just
Like,
picking people off as they come by.
that's the thing. Like, I am the guy who I almost always make it to like the last few because I hid for the last 40 minutes.
Correct.
Like, that is me. It's like,
Everybody's running around getting shot at, and you're just like, I'm just hanging out in this shed.
I'm eating chips in
Shooting-
a shed.
Yeah, shooting people that come by.
If I don't have to shoot, even better. Because I'm a terrible shot. I'm just hiding in the shed. Like, I'm trying to be as quiet as possible.
Right.
And so I think with zombies, that would be my approach
Like,
as well.
let everybody just, like, kill themselves off, and then we'll just...
Last to the end.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so now I want to talk about what you had said, like, bored up at home.
Yeah.
But I'm with you in not doing that.
Right.
Because here's my thought. The more people that are around, the more zombies that are around.
Right. And Anchorage is the biggest city in Alaska, while it's still not really a huge city compared to others.
Thus, most zombies in Alaska.
Right. It's still going to have the highest population of zombies.
This is the most ridiculous topic we've ever talked about.
Correct. But this is real thinking. So I feel like because we live in the biggest city, it would have the biggest population of things that want to eat me, and so I will want to get out
Yep.
of the city. And thank goodness we live in a very large state with a whole lot of remote places.
Not only a whole lot of remote places, but also a lot of remote cabins and a lot of remote buildings.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you would need and we would need would be shelter.
Shelter.
Like, let's be very honest. We're not staying in a tent in the woods.
Absolutely not. I want a solid structure that I can still board up.
Okay.
Like, I don't care if we're out in the middle of nowhere, I am still boarding up the doors and windows.
Okay, so before we get to our solid structure in the middle of nowhere, as we have made the decision to flee,
Yeah.
we have minutes at home.
Oh, why do we only have minutes if we know, like, probably days before it actually gets here?
Well, here's the reason. Once panic sets in, like think about even COVID.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't get toilet paper immediately, you had like poopy butt. Like you were out of toilet paper. And so you've got to act quickly.
Yeah.
Or else things are gone.
True.
And so like as soon as it's like, oh my God, this is a real thing, it's spreading. It is, if not in Alaska, on its way to Alaska.
Yeah.
And so like minutes, we've got to go.
Okay.
And so you're in the house. Tell me what you are grabbing as we flee.
Well, I'm a forward thinker.
Okay?
And so I'm not just thinking about strict surviving. I'm also thinking about what the heck are we going to do when we get to this remote place and we're
Okay.
stuck. So I'm packing blankets. I'm
Yep.
grabbing probably like every blanket that we own. I'm grabbing books.
This is why you would die quickly.
I'm grabbing books. And I'm grabbing books that I know that I could read multiple times because it's probably going to be the only books that I have for a very long time.
Okay?
So, I'm grabbing books because we're going to have to entertain ourselves. And you, sir, get very bored very quickly.
Fair, but I've also never been in a zombie apocalypse. Maybe I would thrive. You
Maybe
don't
you
know
would.
that.
Maybe you would. That's true.
Honestly, that might be the setting for me. Now that I think about it,
Maybe.
like always on high alert.
Yeah, could be.
You could just be like, hey, could you just go sit at the window and watch for zombies for the next 6 years? I'd be like, got it. I'm on it.
That was
Watch
oh, no, that was a leaf. Okay.
Yeah. So I would I would grab things very different than you.
I know.
I would grab all of our camping stuff, so sleeping bags, like tarps, even our tents if we needed them. I'd grab our like camping totes.
Yeah.
I would also grab our earthquake survival kit
We do have one of those
because there's a lot
because
of
we are actually sort of prepared.
because there's like a lot of good things in there. Even like the life straw, which turns like lake water into drinkable water.
Yep.
Those kind of things. I'd grab that. I would let's talk about the almost size of an elephant in the room, Missy.
Oh no.
What would you do with Missy?
I would bring her.
Okay.
I'm not going to just leave her here to starve to death or be eaten.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
Well,
I'm
hold on.
No.
We have no evidence that zombies eat animals. I don't believe.
Okay, but if there were people around who are now out of supplies and there's a cat wandering around.
Oh yeah, we'll get to the reason I would bring Missy in a second, which touches on that. But go
You're
ahead.
terrible. I would bring her. Mm-hmm. She is our child, and we're going to protect her.
She's our biological daughter. I
gave her life, and I'm going to keep her alive.
That's not true.
Yeah.
I am torn on this one. I love Missy. Missy loves me. Missy loves me the most.
She loves you more, which I don't understand.
Because first of all, I probably would not want to bring her, only because to me she is a liability to survival. What if she makes a noise that attracts the zombies? What if she, like, I don't know, like, I feel like she is a liability to survival.
So are children.
But, well, fortunately, we don't have to make that decision. So my first vote would be to leave her. But you would fight that, and I would say, fine, we'll bring her.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I would be like, maybe someday she'll be meat and fur. Like, listen.
Fur, for sure, because she has a ton of fur, and she keeps growing it, and so we could brush her.
Yes.
And we could make mittens.
Absolutely.
Hats.
Yes.
And probably eventually a coat.
And maybe someday, a pelt.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe someday, a blanket. A king-size blanket with the size of her.
Oh my gosh. She's not that big.
Okay. So we'll leave that for a decision in the moment with Missy. Let's now talk food.
Food. Yeah, I'm not bringing anything that needs to be refrigerated.
Yep.
I'm not bringing any like soft like bread.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing only cans and boxed things that are shelf stable that will last for a long time.
Love that.
And here's the thing: if we are just trying to survive, I will eat a cold can of beans.
Yeah. Oh, without
Like
question.
I can make do.
It's about survival.
It's about survival. And so I am bringing things that will last on the shelf that I don't have to worry about rotting or going bad. And I will just eat them as is.
I'm with you 100%. In fact, one of the things that we talked about was how, a lot of times I think people assume it's like, oh, I'd go to the grocery store right away. I actually wouldn't.
Right.
Because I think everybody goes to the grocery store.
Everybody's going to be there fighting.
The place that I would go is... So here in Anchorage, we have a warehouse. We actually have a few of them. Cisco, who's a huge food service provider, the Food Service America, or I think it's U.S. Foods now. And then Cars Safeway has a giant warehouse that stocks all the grocery stores. Mm-hmm. I would go to the warehouse first because I feel like you could get boxes of stuff. Yeah. And maybe it wouldn't be as top of mind as the grocery stores. I feel like people are going to ravage the grocery stores first.
And Costco.
And then hit the grocery warehouse. And so I'd go to the warehouse first.
Yeah.
Fill the Jeep up and then go.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Cans of chicken, cans of tuna, cans of bean, whatever lasts the longest.
Yep.
Because it's about survival.
It's about survival. Yep.
I would also, before we left the house, I would grab all of our knives.
Yes.
Because let's get into the discussion about fighting zombies. Now, this is so absurd.
We don't own a gun.
We don't own a gun.
We are not gun people.
I got 2 guns right here, Sherry.
You sure do.
He says flexing.
Yeah, we don't own guns because we're just not really gun sort of people. But I would want some sort of self-defense weapon.
Here's the thing. I have no evidence, based on all of the zombie movies I've watched, that guns are effective against zombies.
Guns tend to just shoot through them, and they just don't do much.
They're mushy humans. Their flesh is mushy, and so
right, they're already dead.
They're already dead.
Yeah.
And so I think knives, axes, baseball bats, those kind of things are better approaches. So that's the kind of stuff I'm grabbing all of our knives from the kitchen. I'm grabbing baseball bat out of the shed.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm still probably I keep bear spray by my side of the bed.
What's bear spray gonna do?
Well, we do still live in Alaska.
Oh, now you're thinking about bears? Oh my God.
I'm thinking big picture.
Think of a series called Bears and Zombies.
Oh gosh.
Zombie bears.
Oh no. Let's just not. Oh God, I'm never gonna sleep again.
Zombie bears?
Stop.
Sherry.
No, but I'm just thinking if we go to some remote place in Alaska, we will still have wolves and bears and anything else that wants to try to kill us.
Like zombie bears?
That we will still need to defend ourselves against, and again with no gun. So I'm still bringing the bear spray.
Okay.
Yeah, this is me forward thinking.
I feel like, so here's the thing. left on your own, I think you would die almost immediately.
Me? Absolutely.
Like, but here's the thing. I also feel like part of that is that you wouldn't even want to live in that world.
No, I really wouldn't. I mean, I think that I would do my best to like barricade myself, but like if I wasn't able to get myself out, I'm barricading myself and I'm probably just starving to death
Yeah.
because I will not risk going out to try to get food.
Right.
I'm just gonna eat what's in the house, and then when that's gone, well, this is it.
I think I think what would be the downfall of me, what would make me die, is I'd be hiding out quiet, and then I'd get one of my sneezing fits, and all of the zombies in like a half-mile radius would hear and just come and eat my brains.
Yeah, well,
That's,
which is also putting me at danger.
yeah. What a team. Wow. What a team.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we did talk about like where we might go to get out.
Yep. What do you think?
Well, my first thought was, so Alaska has all of these public use cabins. And we have stayed in them before with friends.
There are hundreds around the state.
All over the state. And that was my first thought, like just go to like Puck Fort, Nancy Lake. I feel like that would be is a nice sized cabin. We could have friends there. Like I think there's 4 like double sized like bunk beds. But the only issue with that is that the outhouse is like 100 yards away.
Yep. Just so we're clear, it's like 20 yards away.
It's far away.
100 yards is a football field length.
Correct. It's a distance. And I'm just thinking that if you didn't want to have to go outside, I understand it's survival mode and like I'm not asking for indoor plumbing. I'm just saying I don't want to have to walk outside exposing myself
through the woods
to anything that might be there just because I have to pee.
How do you feel about, because I'm with you, I think anytime you go outside of your barricaded encampment, you put yourself at risk.
Right. And I mean, a 5-gallon bucket's only going to hold so much.
So my thought is like you cut a hole in the wood floor, and that becomes like poop corner.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like the public use cabins are up on platforms, and it's like just a natural little like.
Could be.
Right through the ground.
Maybe.
Oh gosh.
But that's where my brain goes. Like we're still gonna need somewhere to go potty.
One of the reasons
and I don't want to have to walk out in the woods to do it.
One of the reasons I think I would like you on my team at the beginning of this is that you do think about things and think through things that most people don't.
Because I'm an Enneagram 5 and I see all of the sides and sometimes I create sides.
Well, yes, that's true. And you're like, well, yeah, but what about this? What about this? And if we do this, that means we have to think about this. And if we think about this. And I think that that's one of the things that would be very helpful in said zombie apocalypse.
I think that in the moment it would be detrimental because I would just be overthinking everything and we would probably just end up being eaten because we were taking too long to gather all of our shit. But
I couldn't get you in the Jeep for 3 hours and the zombie came and ate us.
Right.
That's exactly right.
If we could get out, I think that my thinking ahead skills would like keep us alive.
Okay. Now I have a question going back to one of the items that you said you wanted to bring, books.
Yep.
Let's say we've been surviving for a while. Mm-hmm. We're doing great. The public use cabin has a wood stove in there, which is great. So we're kind of surviving there. But we've now run out of fire starters. And we have to turn to your books. Would you be okay sacrificing your books to be fire starters in the event that was what we needed to survive?
If that's what we needed to survive, then yes, I would.
Wow.
I would do what it took to survive.
You're a real team player, Sherry.
I know.
I will say, I think you and I both can agree, let's hope this doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, sure. Sure.
I still think that the tunnel in Whittier is the best idea we've had.
I think so because it is so like it wouldn't. I mean, we would have to find explosives.
Well, that's the first concern.
Right, which is kind of the first like. Well, maybe not.
I feel like the tunner in. Okay.
Is it Tunner and Whittier?
Okay, first of all, I would never mock you if you misspoke.
Okay, you literally have.
I would never.
This
Sherry
podcast.
I'll edit that out. They'll never know. The tunnel in Whittier, I feel like is perfect for a group of people. if we were able to get like a group, and I think
Yeah.
in my mind, like when we've written this book about this idea, it's always been a group of people. It's never just been us.
It's never just been us. It's always been like 20 people or so
Okay.
that we can gather.
Now, would you, if we're surviving, would you feel safer with just me, or would you feel safer if we like linked up with other, and I'm not going to say friends, these are random people you don't know.
Ooh.
Just like a group of neighbors. They're like, come on, let's go.
I would, even with friends, but especially with strangers, I would have a harder time because what if they're already infected?
Whew. Oh, curveball.
And again, with overthinking everything, but that's where my brain goes. Like, what if they're already infected? And so then we have just blown up the ends and now we are trapped in the tunnel with somebody who's already infected.
If I was infected, what would you do? Would you make the decision to save yourself and to save the community? I wish this was a video podcast right now because I wish you could see Sherry's face. She is so like,
Horrified.
you are so horrified by this.
Oh my god. Here's the thing. I don't think that I could have it in me ever to like kill you,
Okay.
even if you were already infected, but I think that I would leave.
You think you'd leave, or you'd have somebody else in the camp do it?
I mean, if we were already like enclosed
Yeah.
and then we found out that you were infected.
Yep. In my mind. That's the
Oh
scenario.
no. Oh god. I don't
I
know.
want you to know. I want to say right now in public, you have my permission. If I become infected in a zombie apocalypse, you have my permission to either yourself or somebody else just end me. Because it's not really me. It's Zombie Adam.
That's true. Like you
I'm already
would
gone.
already be gone. I think that I would have a stranger do it.
That's fair.
I don't think that I could do it myself. I'm also giving you full permission. Like, please just end me because I don't want.
Here's my thing. I feel like Sherry would say that. Even at like the first news break, like everything's fine. We just ordered
Just
takeout.
end me.
We're having pizza, and there's like a news story that's like, so there's the potential for a zombie apocalypse going on in Ohio, and Sherry's like, nope, now, end me. It's like just, it's like, wait, what?
Let's get it over with.
It's like, no, everything's fine, Sherry. You're like, nope, just in case. Do away with me.
Oh man.
I will say, I'm glad that we had this conversation. I'm glad. We have like a death folder where it's like, hey, these are the passwords, these are the things to do in case I die, in case Sherry dies.
Right.
that
We
kind
do
of
have
thing.
the, what is it called? The, I don't know, the thing like where you can just like pull the plug.
Well, no, I mean,
We have that in
Yes,
our
we
death
do
folder.
have that. But
I think that's the same thing. Like if there's no hope for life, just end it.
wow. Okay, so zombies, you guys have heard it here first. If you by chance are listening to this episode post zombie apocalypse,
Correct.
and one of us made that decision, just know we already agreed on this.
We agreed on it. It's been spoken.
Okay, one piece of technology that you can, if you could have one piece of technology that stayed with you through the whole zombie apocalypse, and I want you to set aside reality for a second. You don't need power for it. It just magically works.
Okay.
Something that, like, you get to have with you.
I mean, we do have like our solar power thing
True.
that would sort of be able to charge things.
Uh-huh.
I and again with me overthinking it, my first thought was on my phone so that I can try to keep in touch with family or friends.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, probably nobody else is gonna be able to keep in touch with family or friends because
Yep.
their phone will have died. So then the selfish part of me is probably my Kindle.
I knew you were going to say Kindle or Nook. I knew you were going to say that.
I have hundreds of books on there that I haven't read yet.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I mean, and you know, it's not going to burn very well. So,
Locked in a mountain with unlimited books and nobody else around to bother her is literally Sherry's heaven.
I mean, it doesn't sound terrible.
all of a sudden you're super pro zombie apocalypse.
Can we just go blow the tunnel now? And just
No.
Can I just hang out?
I think for me, I would choose phone, and here's why. Because I agree with you. Like, nobody else has it, so what's the point? I've read enough books and seen enough movies where eventually there's that one thing that's like, wait, we got a signal. There's a noise.
There's some kind of breakthrough.
there's
But we
some
do
kind
have
of
our little
breakthrough.
radio thing.
That's true. But I just feel like if we blew ourselves up in the middle of a mountain, or if we were out in remote Alaska somewhere, how do we know when it's starting to get over? How do we know when it's safe to re-engage society? Because honestly, that's one of the scariest parts of this.
Right.
Like, that is a life or death decision to, like, okay, we've been out here for weeks or months or years, and now
Is it safe to go back?
is it safe to go back? So we're gonna like take steps to see somebody, but what if it's not? What if it's worse?
Right. Yeah. What if it's just overrun?
Jeez.
Yeah. Very stressful.
Very stressful.
And you know what's funny is, again, like this is it. I don't believe that zombies are an actual thing that could happen. But man, I had the hardest time watching The Walking Dead.
Talk about that a little bit, because this was interesting to me.
Did not sleep for 3 full nights.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yep.
0 sleep because my brain was petrified.
Because you were so scared of this.
Because I was so scared of it, and I understand that it's irrational, and I understand that it just doesn't make sense, but I could not shut my brain off, and I couldn't stop seeing these images from this fake TV show. And I think like the 4th night, my body just like shut down in exhaustion.
Yeah.
And I have not been able to watch the show since. Like, I just can't.
And it was kind of a bummer, though, because you actually liked the show.
I really liked the storyline, especially the first season. And I think I feel like I only watched the first couple of episodes.
Yeah,
and I was
so.
like, I think the first episode, I was like, yes, I'm here for this. And then it just, I couldn't. But I really wanted to know, like, what was going on with the characters. And so you would fill me in on what was happening.
Except I'd be using like gummy bears. I'd be like,
So
okay.
then there was a horde of gummy bears that started chasing them, and then it was
I had like, okay, how can I keep you updated
and then they
and not
ran
talk about
into a
zombies?
field of unicorns, and it was like
Oh my!
just,
They slashed off their head with a marshmallow sword. You know what my favorite zombie? So my favorite zombie book, World War Z. Loved World War Z. Favorite zombie movie, Shaun of the Dead. Like, I love Shaun of the Dead.
go and watch it.
No, you couldn't.
Couldn't. Did you ever watch the movie World War Z? Did it have Brad Pitt?
I believe I did, and I
Did it have Brad Pitt or
I don't know who it had.
Tom Cruise?
I
Somebody's
liked the
famous.
book much better.
yeah?
Yeah. And now we thought that the best way to end this episode would actually be with Sherry doing a rendition of the song Zombie by the Cranberries.
I'm not gonna do that.
And a 1 and a
I
2.
dared
and
you
a
to do
1,
that because
2.
that's how you started when we first sat down.
Zombie, 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 yeah, yeah. You guys know that song, right?
And then I was just joking about this just being a whole tribute to the Cranberries. Which is
Zombie Apocalypse, our Cranberry tribute episode. Oh my gosh.
oh jeez.
So there you guys go. Now you know our plan.
Yeah. What did we miss? We want to know.
Well, and I also want to know this. I have to cough because my my rendition of my rendition of
okay?
Zombie really did something
some
on
water?
my vocals. Thanks, Sherry.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep you alive.
You're gonna keep me alive until you off me in the zombie apocalypse.
Correct.
Great.
Yeah.
What I want to know, have you had this conversation? Please, for the love of God, tell me we are not alone in having this conversation.
Oh man, and again, we have had this conversation far more often than actual like earthquake survival.
It's so dumb.
And the thing is, we get earthquakes here all the time. I've been up here for 20 years, and
No
we've
zombies.
had no zombies, but we have had multiple pretty big earthquakes.
Yeah, but yet we are far more prepared for a zombie apocalypse.
Correct. Yep, we have a whole plan.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. So head over to YouTube,
Yeah.
search for the zombie apocalypse episode here on the Lug Life podcast. And in the comments section of this episode's video, let us know, have you had this conversation? And also, you don't got to go into detail like as much as we did. What are some of the highlights of your plan?
Yeah, what's the 30,000 foot view of your plan?
Are you a, like, get your arsenal and fight the zombies?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to be hiding in the shed with us? That's what we want to know, friends. We love you so much. And remember, next week's episode,
Next week,
all about our phobias.
phobias and fears, rational or not.
And a couple of them are definitely not rational.
Correct.
All right, friends, we love you guys so much. We'll see you on the next Leg Life podcast. Your last chance to sing zombie.
No, thank you.
Dang it. All right, friends. Bye.